Doing a little better.
Hello, Matt. Welcome to the comeback seat.
Hey, hey.
Can
Appreciate
you
it.
hear us very well? Did you say something about your microphone?
No, the camera's super dark. I don't know. I was trying to fix that, but it's not doing too well today for some reason.
Do you brighten it up?
Yeah, I was trying, but it's as bright as it goes. I don't know why it's being weird today.
Because you're not feeling well, so everything is not. It doesn't go well.
All right.
All right, Matt. You're in the seat today.
Sounds good.
We're going to be talking all about you.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Tell me about growing up in North Carolina.
Growing up in North Carolina wasn't that bad. I grew up on the western side, so I was like, Boone. I don't know if you've heard of Appalachian State University, but I grew up kind of in that area, in the way back in the mountains of North Carolina. Wilkesboro, North Carolina is kind of known for the glass ketchup bottle moonshine and NASCAR racing. It's kind of where those three things were kind of invented by us, I guess. But it was good. I had a good childhood. I never needed for anything really. Dirt bikes, friends always over, having a good time. It wasn't bad. I enjoyed it.
I've been to North Carolina a couple times, and it is one of my favorite states to go and visit. It was for work, but I really enjoyed going over there and visiting and hearing all the little bugs in the background. I think one time I was there, you guys had, I think locusts came out of the ground or whatever those horrible bugs are.
Yeah, they're loud.
They're loud and they're like birds hitting your windows. Well, so you said you had a good childhood. Tell us about your family life, because you started drugs at the age of 12, right?
Ish.
That's
Yeah,
really
around that
good.
time, 11, 12. Yeah, it was super early. I was introduced to that super early on, which I kind of I grew up around drinkers and bootleggers and stuff like that, so that was introduced pretty early as well.
Was
Probably
that your
my first.
parents?
Huh?
Was that your parents that were
Uh,
the?
Not necessarily. No, that was more. That was just where I grew up. It's Wilkesboro. If you didn't know a bootlegger, you're not from there.
Okay. It was just the atmosphere. You were just fitting in with the rest of the
Yeah, pretty
friends.
much.
Yeah.
Well, whenever I was 11, it's kind of funny part about my life. It's where everything kind of transitioned over into nobody gave a shit, right? Or I didn't give a shit after this, but pretty much within 1 month and a half, I lost my grandpa, my best friend, which, I mean, we were like brothers, and my virginity all within 3, 4, 5 weeks of each other, right? And after that, it was I didn't care, that, I kind of, I transitioned over into defiancy, it was like, if you told me to do it or told me not to do it, you bet your ass I was going to do it. So anyway.
You're a little rebellion, Matt.
Say what?
You started rebelling at a very young age.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, very.
And so you had loss in there. You had your virginity must have been, that was not good or that was a good thing.
Well, it wasn't taken. I definitely gave it. It was.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just one of those things. Wilkesboro, there's not much to do except for get in trouble and make babies.
Yeah. And what were you at the age, or at a young age? What drug of choice were you? Are you drinking? Are you drugs? Are you?
Well, that time it was more. I keep hitting the space bar. Let me move this keyboard.
Okay.
11, 12, I was more like weed, dabbling in cocaine. My first time I took ecstasy, I was 12 years old. I got into, I got into stealing my mom's car when I was 12, 13 years old. Right? I would manually unlock the garage door. I would sneak out of my window, raise the garage door, and me and my friends would go joyride all night.
You could write a book, Matt.
Huh?
We're only 5 minutes into this, and you could already write a book, and I'd be.
I'm writing a book. I'm definitely writing a book. It's there's a lot of things that I won't be able to say on the video that you can definitely find in the book.
Okay.
Just due to I don't want to verbally, what do you call it? I don't want to verbally tell on myself on a lot of things, incriminate, I guess you could say. But yeah, it's definitely coming.
And what age did you get married?
I didn't get married. You said married, right?
Yeah, married.
So
Is that later on in the story?
Say again?
Is that later on in the story? Because we don't need to go there yet.
Yeah, I mean, it was way later on. I was like 28, 29, 30, something like that.
Okay. So
I was with her for 10 years before we got married.
Okay. And so you started tree climbing at what age?
Right around 15, 16 years old, I started running a chainsaw. I'd worked with a few like family friends, like in the log woods, as they call it, on logging companies and stuff like that. But I didn't get into climbing trees until, like 20, 21, something like that. I had bought my first set of climbing gear due to a guy. he was saying that pretty much he was a badass because he was a tree climber, right? And I told him, I was like, man, one day I'm going to be better than you. And at that time, I hadn't even climbed a tree yet. So my tree climbing career actually started with a probation officer that I had. She asked me what I'd done for work, and I was like, I'm a tree climber, Really, I wasn't. I was just telling her something that she wanted to hear, like I had a job, right? And she's like, well, I know a guy if you need a job, because I just had moved to this town. And she hooked me up with a job with this guy. And I got on site, and he's like, man, have you ever done this? Have you ever done that? He was asking me a bunch of questions about climbing. And of course, I had no idea. Like, I could beat around the bush and tell you a little bit about it, but I'd never physically done it at this point. And he told me, he was like, well, I'm going to start training. I'm going to pay you half in cash and half in knowledge, right? So I started climbing at $8.25 an hour, right? Which is insane, because it's like 32. You don't make less than $400 if you're a good climber a day,
Yeah.
And he said within 3 years, it takes 3 years to make a good climber, right? And for some reason, I don't know, I just fell in love with it, right? And in 8 months, I was running his crew, and it was just climbing trees is like, I don't know, I'd jump in one today if I were able to. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a love of mine that I can't find anything else that I love more than that as far as physical labor, right? Like, I never worked a day, obviously.
And were you running the chainsaw and using at the same time?
It depended. It really depended. I didn't like to be high at work. I normally waited until after work to do that. Normally, if I was on like a meth binge or something, like, of course I wasn't going to work after the second day, because hell, I couldn't control myself, much less, I wasn't going to risk my men, so there was a lot of days that I'd missed, obviously. So no, I tried not to be at work.
So at this point you are still using, and when did take us back to the injury? When did that happen?
The injury was June 14th, 2020.
Okay. So that's later on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we still have, so you're still tree climbing and using and working under the table, and then what happens? What do you do next? In the meantime, you have 4 kids, right?
Yeah, I had my first when I was 18. Just had turned 18. He's about to be 18. Holy shit. I had another one almost 2 years later. And I had one a year later, and then I have a 9-year-old. So right now I have 17, 15, 14, and 9. So I have 2 boys, 2 girls, which is good, I guess. I don't know which one's easier, honestly. A lot of people say boys are easier. A lot of people say girls are easier. I honestly don't see a difference. They have their own. They have their own thing.
Their own unique personalities. And now, did you were you using as a dad, or did you get clean, or what were the years like raising 4 kids?
Say that again. I couldn't hear you.
Were you clean during raise as a father? As no,
No, not at all. Not
okay.
at all. I used all the way through. I no, I was hardly clean for maybe a month at a time since 12. Unless I was locked up or something like that. Like I was always high. I was always high up until last year. So.
So you mentioned locked up. Tell us about the first time you got arrested.
First time I got arrested, I think I was like, I don't know, 14.
Wow.
I was riding around drinking with a buddy of mine. He got arrested. He was a lot older than I was. He got arrested, and I felt like I was always the kind of guy that's like, if you fight, I'm gonna fight with you. That's just how I go. So if you're going to jail, I'm going to jail. Was my way of thinking for whatever reason. So I got a disorderly conduct, drunk in public, and drinking underage. Which my mom ended up coming to get me like 3 days later. She left me in there all weekend, which was not fun. But
and you didn't, and you still didn't learn your lesson, getting locked up.
No. I've been arrested probably 40 times throughout my life.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So they know your name.
Huh?
They know your name at the police station?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I've had to move counties. Just keep moving counties because the police would they were like.
And what did your parents think?
Well, my dad was out of the picture when I was 2.
Okay.
My my mom had remarried my stepdad when I was 5. They split up when I was 15. Or got divorced when I was 15. My stepdad was a good dad. He was a good dad. He was just a little brutal sometimes. He would take your typical ass whooping and turn it into something that it didn't need to be turned into a lot of times. But my mom's a saint, right? She has always fought or had my back on everything. Got me out of way more than what I should have got out of, right?
Yeah.
An enabler, if you will, but yeah, of course she tried to talk me out of it, but I was in the position or the state of mind to where I didn't care what she said.
Yeah.
One of my mottos growing up was I would tell people if they asked or told me to do something, I'd be like, man, I don't listen to my mama. What make you think that I'm gonna listen to you? Right? That's my state of mind.
Yeah.
It was horrible. I was an asshole. I'm serious.
Yeah.
But they tried to guide me, but a lot of times I was unable to be guided.
And do you have any brothers or sisters?
I am the only child.
Oh, so you were a mama's boy completely.
100%.
So when you say unable, she well, it's my only boy.
If I had a bond, 100%, I wouldn't be sitting in there longer than a week. I mean, that's just how it is. That's how mom was. That's how she probably still is. I don't know, but was it nice? Yes, it was nice. I loved it because I didn't have to sit in jail. I could get money anytime I wanted it, right? If I needed or wanted something, it was there. I think a lot of hers was kind of ran off of guilt due to my childhood and stuff like that. So she just felt like she needed to do these things, unaware of her kind of, I don't want to say damage, but just unaware of what she was actually doing, right? She was just being a mom and doing what moms are supposed to do, and that's taking care of her baby. Whenever I was manipulating the situation and using it in a negative manner,
Sure. And did she know you had a drug problem?
Oh yeah, 100%.
And did you ever go to rehab during?
I didn't go to rehab my first time until 3 years ago.
Okay.
Well, that's a lie. I went when I was 18. I stayed for 8 days, but that was kind of because everybody else told me to go. I didn't care about getting sober at that point.
And you're like, no, this isn't for me. I'm out. They can't tell me what to do.
Yeah, I was there. Like I said, I was there for 8 days, and I was like, No, I need some drugs. I'm out of here.
And your wife, you got married. You said that you were together 13 years before you got married.
If you count to today, it would be 19 years.
Okay. And so, how did she deal with your butt?
Uh, well, we'll just say this.
Okay.
We will say, I said a few minutes ago, I was an asshole, right?
Okay.
Like, that
Okay.
is an understatement. That is an understatement. That is, that's nice. That's as nice as I can put it, right?
Okay.
I was a loser, 100%. I treated her horribly. I cheated on her constantly. Um, and I mean, I don't really want to say that she's an enabler, right? But I never had to pay for anything or learn a lesson with her either, you know?
Yeah, she never gave up on you. She wanted you
No,
to
she
get.
never did. I mean, she
She
still
wanted
does
you to
everything
get
she can
better.
to kind of keep me in line. She's a little more hardcore about it now because, I mean, she's at the point now where it's like she don't need me in her life. She don't give a shit either way, you know? So.
Well, you guys have 4 blessings out of it, right? So
Yeah, oh yeah, guaranteed.
there's that. And then take us to the day where you got injured.
Oh man, that was a good day. It was a good day. um, so I trained climbers. At the time, I had a guy that was wanting to learn that I was working with. Um, he's a younger guy, so he wanted new gear. I was kind of an old school climber. I climbed with a descending knot instead of a device, a mechanical device. So I had ordered a device to learn how to use it so I could teach him. It was a Spider Jack Dyneema 2.0. Was the device that I ordered. I ordered it on like Monday the week before, got it on Wednesday, used it Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That Monday, the guy that I was supposed to be helping learn climb was he was in a funk that day about somebody fixing his truck or something. I can't remember, but like a climber is only as good as the men on the ground, right? If the people on the ground aren't doing their job, the man in the tree can't do his job. It's like any other job out there. I was kind of having a problem with it. We was kind of spatting back and forth. He wasn't listening. I wasn't, it was just one of those situations. So I got to the top of the tree. I went to tie in. I missed a loop. I missed it's got a little eyelet that your carabiners go through. So there's 2 eyelets. I was looking at him hooking up. I've been doing it for years. I just trust myself with the gear, with the new gear. I wasn't paying attention enough, I guess. There's a 3/8 screw that holds a nylon strap that holds that eyelet on that I missed. Well, whenever I sat back, I took my lanyard off. I sat back. That 3/8 screw stripped out, and the device pretty much fell apart. What I like to call it fell apart because even though you missed that eyelet, it still should never have that. Still shouldn't be able to do that. I don't think. I feel like it's a major. Let's say that's a story for another time. But anyway, I've had that conversation with a lot of people, but it's okay. We won't take that much time up. So whenever I went to lean back on it, it fell apart. I fell 45 feet. I hit no branches. I landed on my butt. My face hit flat. Folded me over at T12, about belly button height. Folded me completely in half, and I was laying there. My state of mind, it didn't knock me out. It knocked me out, the wind out of me pretty good. But after I was kind of like figuring out that I was on the ground, I was thinking that my legs were broke, right? So my get up, keep going mentality was like I was twisting around trying to get up, I'll be fine, Yeah, I've wrecked. I got in a wreck at 83 miles an hour. I walked away from it. I got in a motorcycle wreck at 65. I was okay. Like that was my mentality at this time too, right? Like I'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
Yeah,
You're
just get me up, just get me up.
covered.
I was telling everybody, I was like, just pick me up, dude, I'll be fine. And they're like, lay still, lay still. And I'm like, no, dude, just help me up. I'm fine, you know. Which, of course, there was no pain because I was instantly paralyzed, right? Like that. I mean, it was virtually no pain at all. I just knew I couldn't move my legs, and I was like, holy moly. You know, and even through like safety classes that I took and seminars and stuff like that, like with the arboriculture side of things, never once did we ever talk about spinal cord injuries, right? I knew nothing about them at the time.
How far away were you from the hospital?
It took 7 minutes in a helicopter to get to CMC Charlotte.
Okay, so they did have to life flight you.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah,
But you're still thinking, I'm okay. And the helicopter, were you thinking, I'm okay?
Say what?
And the helicopter ride, were you thinking, I'm okay?
No, I was flirting with the nurses in the helicopter. Is what I was doing.
You were getting a date at that point, so
well, they gave me some medication that I was not hurt at all. I was good to go. You know.
You were good to go.
You know. So yeah, I got to CMC in 7 minutes. I had laid on the table for like 2 days because they were trying to figure out what to do with my spine. Because where mine imploded, like it was just super messed up. It wasn't like your typical spine break, either it breaks and fall. Like they took out 2 of my ribs. So they went in from my side to do my spinal surgery instead of straight over the spine like they do most people. They took out 2 of my ribs, went in that way because they had to do my surgery from the inside out. I was an inch and a half shorter than what I normally am. So whenever I was laying on the ICU table, I could rub the side of both of my knees with my hands at the same time, right? Which is pretty crazy. That was freaking me out. I was like, why could I rub both of my knees? Anyway, but so I mean that day it was okay. It was a lot. I was unaware of what I just went through. You know, I wasn't really aware of what it was until a couple months after, right? And I think a lot of that has to do with the mindset that I have, like go, 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 I'll be fine no matter what, face it head on, you know. Even weeks after, you know, being in the hospital, in the rehab of the hospital, like me and all these wheelchair people rolling around and stuff, it's like, man, you know, it's kind of cool. It's kind of a vacation, I guess, you know, but I'll be fine. I'll be back to work in a little while. Man, and that was not.
And you're on pain pills at this point, I'm sure.
Yeah, pain pills have never been my thing.
Okay, so that wasn't an issue.
Say again?
That was not an issue at the time?
No, pain pills has never been an issue for me. I do not like them in any way, shape, or form. Me and pharmaceuticals, that's a really big conversation I can have. It's kind of always been a life thing. I just don't like medication at all. I don't take any medication really now.
So how long was the rehab for?
The rehab was great. They kicked me out way early. I was taking showers the second day I was in there by myself, getting in and out. You know, they were like, "There's no reason for you to be in rehab because you do everything yourself already." So they kicked me out of rehab, which kind of sucked because I mean it was fun there, but yeah, it wasn't that bad. CMC, if you get hurt, go to CMC. It's great.
So mentally, what were you thinking as a dad, going from able-bodied to now in a wheelchair? What was family life like right then?
Oh man, it was hard. It was hard on the kids because the kids obviously didn't understand. The kids have made a massive positive transition in a number of ways, right? At that time of my injury and coming home, definitely the confusion was there. Everybody was like super nurturing, wanting to do everything and stuff like that, which is great, right? Which my mom is still that way still to this day, and it is annoying as hell. But she's mom, that's what she does, you know. I just gotta let her do it.
You're her baby boy.
Yeah, I know, but it's like, Mom, I can do it, you know. It's okay, but she still hasn't got over that I'm in a wheelchair, I guess. So she still treats me like I just came home, but
Now you still back up home, and your house isn't accessibility, right?
no, there was nothing about it that was accessible. Which the house I live in now is not accessible either. I mean, as you see, I have stairs behind me, and my bedroom's upstairs, right?
Oh, okay.
So I am a super functioning paraplegic. My legs still kind of move. I can't really walk or nothing like that, but my legs still move. I still have sensation in a lot of places that a lot of people don't. So getting up and downstairs really isn't a problem. I just have to turn around and scoot up them on my butt, you know. Um, so accessibility really isn't a big thing for me. As long as I can fit through the door, we're good to go, you know.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. And then, so you go on this journey. It sounds like you're pretty positive. Did you start using drugs again after the hospital?
Absolutely. I absolutely did. And the first year of me being in a chair was a super dark year for me. I done it with a smile on my face as I do everything. But I was super suicidal, right? Like, as anybody that goes through this transition, it happens, right?
Sure.
So the first 365 days, I was ordering guns in my wife's name due to I'm a felon. I'm not supposed to have guns, right? I was ordering guns just trying to pick out which one I was going to use. And my 1 year anniversary, that was the day that I picked to do so, right? And I had it planned out. We're not going to go into detail. That'll be in the book. But let's just say that 1 year mark, I went and bought 7 grams of crack. Right, I was like, I'm not a big crack smoker. It's just not my thing. I was like, I'm gonna go buy this. It makes me the craziest out of any. This is what I'm gonna use. I'm gonna smoke this gram of crack till I got the balls to pull the trigger. Right, 7 grams of crack's gone. I still didn't have the balls to pull the trigger. At that moment, was like, okay, all right. So there's obviously something else to this life, right? Like, and that's whenever I started to transition over into more of a positive state of mind about it. Like,
So you had hit your lowest point.
right.
What this happiness done, and then you're thinking, I'm not dead yet. I'm not dead.
All right. Yeah, 100%. You know, and I leave the Food Line parking lot. I go to the house. I hug the kids, and I'm just like, man, you know, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. You know, I'm not supposed to be out here fucking trying to blow my head off. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. You know. So that's whenever I started to kind of look for reasons to be okay with the situation I'm in, right? Like, there's got to be obviously something. I mean, honestly, I think the reason that I'm in this chair is because I had my life before figured out, I thought. Right? Like, I was arrogant, I was cocky, you couldn't tell me shit. It didn't matter. Like, nobody meant anything to me, right? People in chairs scared the shit out of me. I mean, it's just the type of person I was. There was nobody greater than I. I was my own God, right? And I think life, God, if you will, kind of put me in this place right here, in this chair, because I needed a new life, right? I needed a new life to figure out I've always had a ambition to lead. I've always had a personality of communication, stuff like that. Like, there's a lot more to me than what I was willing to notice. And I think that I was put in this chair for that reason, is to make me start noticing things. Like, I always looked at, like, one of the crazy things I always tell people is, like, now, I look up at everybody whenever there's people around me. I always look up at people, and it's crazy because I always used to look down on everybody, right? So it's just a little reminder for me. It's like, you know, it grounds me a little bit. There's little things like I used to pick on my cousin for putting his wallet in his front pocket, right? I used to call him a little girl for putting his wallet in his front pocket, right?
Yeah.
I have to do that now. It's crazy. You know, he used to wear bows on the inside of his shoes because he was a little tubby kid. You know, he'd tie his shoes and the bow would be on the inside of his foot. Well, that's how mine are now. You know, so there's little things like that reminds me and that grounds me. It's like, wow, man, you know, you was an asshole before. There's so much more to life than that. So much more.
So you became humble.
Oh man. So I didn't even know what that word meant until until this chair. Honestly.
Yeah. And so was your faith? So did you completely change then with your faith as well?
Say again.
Your faith, did it change?
My faith?
Yeah. Did you become a Christian, or what happened with your faith where you're like, God put me in this chair? Were you religious before?
I've not ever really been religious, right? And even now, like, I can't say that I'm religious in a way of I choose a religion to be part of, right? Like, I've been through things and seen things that I still argue with myself and with God, if you will. Do I believe that there's God? Yeah, absolutely. I 100% believe that. Do I know? Can I categorize him in a religion of this is the right one, the rest are wrong, right? No, absolutely not, because I don't know. I know that November 2nd, 2022, I'd been up for like 7 days. And I was going through a mental breakdown, kind of, sort of. And I was laying in bed with my youngest son. We was watching Moana. He went to sleep. I pulled his glasses off, and I just start crying, right? So I start praying, something that I don't really do a whole lot of. And I've got a photo on my phone. I'll have to find it and send it to you.
I love that.
The Roku clock on the Roku TV, you know, it bounces the time around, you know, whenever it's a screensaver and whatnot. Well, I get this jolt. Boom! It was like I got shocked with electricity, right? At 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning. 1:23:45 in the morning, right? And I look at the TV. I said right then, I was like, all right, I see you. I will never deny you internally or externally ever again, you know? And that was more of my transition into my spiritual living instead of religious believing, right? Like, do I believe that there's something greater than me? Absolutely. Did I want to believe that beforehand? No, hell no. Because then there was nothing greater than I, you know.
Matt, have you been to counseling?
Oh yeah. I've been to. I go to counseling. I'm in the motion of getting my peer support license and things like that as of now. It's something that I would love to get into myself, but yes, I do therapy, which helps a lot. I do a lot of my therapy with, like, this right here. This is therapy for me. Like, a lot of people get into, like, after you get sober, there's this thing called 90 meetings in 90 days. You have to do it. You have to do it in order to stay sober, right? Then I have some conflicts with a lot of things like that. So because my therapy is more spiritual with my community, not just talking about getting high, but just interacting, you know. But yeah, I do that with people around me.
Now, are you still friends with some of the people that you used to get high with?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
That was one of the major screw-ups that I didn't want to accept before. There's something called people, places, and things. You have to change all of them in order to stay sober. I wanted to argue that, right? Because I have a super argumentative personality where I think whatever I say is right. And so I would find myself months after being sober, pre-planning subconsciously, not even aware of what I was doing, but subconsciously checking on people in order to, a couple months down the road, I could be like, hey, let's get high. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the time, I wouldn't even be registering that that's what I'm doing. But me just thinking about that person and checking in on them is exactly what I was doing. I didn't give a shit about that person. I was just worried about what they could get from me later on. you know?
Yeah.
So people, places, and things, you change it all. I've changed it all. And it's the greatest thing that I've ever done, really.
When did you decide the big idea? I'll let you reveal your big idea and what you were going to have me sign before we even did this podcast, the NDA. Tell us about that, Matt.
All right. So Able Place Recovery came into the idea around 2.5 years ago, something like that. Whenever I tried to get into rehab for my first time, right? It took me like 8-9 months. And the reason is because you can, I don't know if you've read it went to my website and read it. I've got a little rough draft on there, but like there was numerous times that I was turned away. People would hang up. They would put me on hold, never come back due to my wheelchair, right? Some people just didn't even want to deal with the liability, right? The only times that I've ever got into any recovery-based program, it was because I knew someone there. They either worked there, they were going there, whatever the case was. Never once have I got somewhere just because I called. So with that, I got into an Oxford house in Florida, and I had teamed up with a really good friend of mine, Brittany, and we were I was juggling this idea, right, of like, man, there has got to be a place in the United States somewhere for wheelchair users to go to get sober. Like, there's got to be, right? Because obviously there's not. So I started doing research, nothing, right? I was coming up with nothing, right? There's a lot of rehabs that are ADA, right? But ADA is so minimal, right? That ADA that's for the drunk guy that can't walk through the front door. They put him in a wheelchair and they roll him through. That's what that ADA is for.
It's just a bar in the bathroom.
Oh, 100%. And it's just so they can keep the doors open. That's it. You know, and being in a chair, like, I get it. We get looked over a lot. And it's not just because we sit lower than everybody. Like, we just get looked over a lot, you know?
Yeah.
And whenever it comes to things like this, like, a lot of people lose hope. Like, a lot of people I know that are in chairs, they'll call one time and get told no, and that's what they ride on, right? Like, I know so many chair users that just stay drunk 24 hours a day, and it's just miserable, and they've already given up. And it's simply due to the system not having resources for us to use easily, right? Like, you got to wait months for insurance. You got to, like, it's a whole thing. It's a pain. Like, I got pieces on my chair that's been on order for 3-4 months, and I still haven't heard anything. You know, it's just, it's insurance, you know. But so I start juggling this idea. I get on Spinal Cord Injury Life page on Facebook, SCI Life, and I just throw this idea out there. I'm like, hey guys, what do y'all think about this? And the next morning I have like 100 messages. I'm like, holy shit, you know. I've got doctors from Utah, nurses all over the place, like writing me like, dude, this is amazing. Let's run this, right? They're like, we're willing to relocate to help you out with this. Like, I had a lot of people interested, and so I start figuring out. I'm like, hey, I've been working on it 2.5 years. I don't think I've got anywhere far enough because, I mean, just the research on it alone is nil pretty much. I mean, it is. There's none there. I've been on the phone with Harvard, University of Florida, Virginia Tech, trying to figure out if there's ever been research conducted on the intersection between drug addiction and life in a wheelchair, right? Like, and there's really no information. There's no stats. There's no anything on it anywhere. So this is all kind of just like brand new, but so I'm trying to bring all of this and just bring the awareness out, right? Like, rehab owners that I've talked to, they're all about it. They're like, yeah, man, let's do it. We just got to get some numbers out there. I need to figure out if the practicality is going to be worth it, right? Yeah, I don't care. I don't give a shit about the numbers. I'm doing a nonprofit as much as I can, right? I just need a place for these people to go, you know? Even if it's online, like, hey, it is what it is. But so I was having people sign NDAs. But I decided not to. I found out that I was being super selfish with all of that, right?
Uh-huh.
I had a good buddy of mine point that
I
out.
just didn't know you, Matt. That's why I didn't sign it.
Yeah, well, no, it's perfectly okay. But I was going over I was going over it with a really good buddy of mine in Virginia. Like he's helped me through a lot of things, and he was like, because I was going to get it trademarked and all this stuff. Like I thought I needed to do that, right? But it was just my selfish brain saying, I want it. I want it. This is mine. Nobody else has it. I want it. Give it all to me, right? Well, then I step over to the selfless side of me, and I'm like, it doesn't matter who does it. And it don't matter. It don't matter if I do it. It don't matter if you do it. Either way, it just needs to be done, right? Because there's people out there that need it, right? So I stepped away from that. I stepped away from the trademarking. I stepped away from everything. I was just like, I don't want to do none of that. I just want to put awareness out there and see where it goes, you know. So yeah, there's that on the end.
I think it's awesome, Matt. I think you're onto something that's the most amazing thing. And it could be, it wasn't necessary, you could say it's your selfish self, but I'm sure you lost a lot of trust during your life, you know?
Yeah.
You have a good idea and you don't want it taken away.
Yeah. Yeah, I had no trust. You know, another motto of mine is trust nobody, have faith in few. You know, and that's just kind of how I mean, I still kind of run on that, you know, a lot.
Yeah.
You know, because I guess the people that I trusted, I would give them 100% of my trust up front instead of making them earn it, right? And that was a major mistake on my part, because once you crossed me once, it was like there was zero trust there, you know.
And I'm sure you've told your wife, trust me.
Oh man, well.
I won't go there, Matt.
I'm sure that line has came out a time or two. Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't do anything.
She did over and over and over. Does she now? Not at all. Not at all.
Oh, man. So where's this location? Where are you hoping to open this accessibility place?
So that's one thing, right? Like I've got a lot of research on states that have the most wheelchair users. Like there's a lot of things that can go right or wrong with. I would like somewhere in Florida or Charleston, South Carolina. Like that would be the two. Somewhere from North Carolina to Florida, like somewhere in that range. It's definitely got to be city. A lot of sidewalks, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, and somewhere that's nice, you know, because you don't want it. You know, Florida's such a big recovery state because it's beautiful everywhere, right? Like going to get sober, you don't want to be in some trash place, you know. So that is really, it's still up in the air where we are going to put it. Yeah, like I said, I don't care as long as it's somewhere. We can do it online. I'm cool with that.
You could start online right away, you know.
Yeah.
That's a great resource, but especially when you know what it's like. You know, you've lived it. I mean, a lot of times people talk, their counselors, they don't know what it's like to be in a wheelchair. They don't know what it's like to have a drug addiction problem.
Not at all.
So, Matt, what you said something about you're getting a certificate or your counseling degrees. I couldn't hear what you said.
Yeah, well, it's. I plan on getting my peer support. Right, that's going to be the easiest, fastest thing that I can get.
What is it called again?
Peer support specialist.
Peer support. Okay.
Yeah.
Couldn't catch it. Okay. So peer support. Okay.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's super easy. Of course, I'm going to do the easiest things first. I mean, honestly, I don't necessarily have to have anything where I sit at. If this thing takes off, I mean, me being the founder, I can pretty much, I don't need anything, right? I'll have other people for that. You know, all I really need is my experience. So it's just a little something extra to keep me busy, really.
Well, and you want them to look them in the eye. You want certain things, I'm sure, in your facility to make people feel valued and important as being in a wheelchair. I mean, if I had a drug problem, I'm in a wheelchair, I would want to go with like-minded people.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing is because the last place I was at is actually Coastal Oaks Recovery in Port Royal, South Carolina. If you know anybody that needs to go to rehab, send them there. It's great. The people there is great. They are a lot different than any other rehab, just due to it's not really a pill pushing rehab. It's just a great place. But like me being in rehab with a bunch of able-bodied people, like, yeah, we have the same struggles. We've been through the same thing. We both are addicts or alcoholics, and we deal with these things on a daily basis of the same. But I have just a little different I have little different problems than they have, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't have to wake up for a second before I jump over into my wheelchair so I don't smash on the floor, like little things like that. Or, they said that they were ADA, but their mattresses are like almost shoulder height to me. I'm like, what in the hell? Dude, if somebody wasn't as able as I am, how are they gonna get in here?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there is a level, and there's a level of need to be around like people, right? Because I know weak-minded people, they get into a situation like that and they're going to leave early because they're going to feel misunderstood, right?
Sure.
They're like, oh man, nobody here understands what I'm going through. That same addicted mindset, it's only me. I'm the only one that deals with my problems. So it matters, even if you got people working there that's in a chair, or, you need to have people like that around you. Because it's easy to express a problem or a situation you have in that day whenever people's like, oh yeah, I understand what you mean. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't understand what I mean. You don't understand how I feel. I mean, that's inevitable. There's no possible way for me to understand how you feel. But that's so it matters. It matters big time.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple things that I wanted to go over real quick before we get off this call. I could talk to you all day, and everyone wants to hear more of your stories, I'm sure. So we'll have another podcast. There will be a part 2. But what would Matt tell his younger self at age 12? What would you tell yourself?
Well, age 12, as I said, mine kind of started at age 11. So I'm gonna rewind to age 11, right?
Okay, let's go to 11.
All right. So whenever I think about that, telling myself what I would tell me at 11, whenever I read that, I thought about my grandpa, right? He died whenever I was 11. I imagine what he would tell me is something simple, because he knows that I pay attention more to simple things than this big drawn out thing. And just look around and slow down, just slow down. My tunnel vision is horrible. I do not see anything else other than what I want to see. So yeah, look around and slow down. That's what I would tell myself.
Okay. And we didn't get into a lot of your extracurricular activities now, like your kayaking, your adventures. You do a lot of activities, and you don't let being in a wheelchair stop you. What do you have to tell our listeners that might be in a dark place right now and they don't even know where to begin to go and do activities? What would you tell them, or I'd give them advice? What would your advice be?
My advice to people that find themselves stuck in the house in a chair. This is how I see it, right? Like whenever I get that way, I notice that I'm not worried about, or I'm not noticing how I feel, how I look on the outside. I'm more worried about how other people see me on the outside, right? That's where most people just stay home, because they don't want to be seen in a wheelchair. They don't want to be seen struggling getting in and out of the car, because it's embarrassing. It can be embarrassing, right? Something that I said that kind of hit this little kid was in a wheelchair. He was like, I just don't like whenever people stare at me, right? And I'm like, dude, listen, no matter what room we roll into, right, we're going to be center of attention at some point while we're there. If we use that and we make it work for us instead of work against us, right, then we got it all figured out already. If I can go in that room and have everybody look at me and smile for like 2 seconds, make them laugh, whatever the case is, instead of being like, oh, feeling sorry for me or whatever the case is, that's what matters. That's what matters, because that's going to boost the next person, and that's what I'm about. So just don't worry about what anybody else thinks. Don't worry about how you look. Who gives a shit?
There you have it, guys. Who gives a shit? Matt, you have been awesome to interview today. I really thank you so much for being on the comeback seat. I think you can open up your own podcast, and you would be
I would love
entertaining.
to. Yeah, I would love to.
You're very entertaining. So
Appreciate that.
I'm gonna sign you off here. Anything else you want to say to the listeners?
Say again, I didn't hear you.
Anything else you want to say to our listeners?
No, just keep pushing. You know, if you're in recovery, just remember that this is our war zone where we fight for us and those like us. You know, so just keep pushing forward, stay sober, man.
I love that. Okay.
The information shared on this podcast is for educational and inspirational purposes only. It is not medical, psychological, or professional advice. Always consult with a qualified professional before making changes to your health, mindset, or lifestyle. You are responsible for your own decisions, actions, and results. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and always do what's best for you.